Hey everyone, I want to give you a 1-year update review on this 16-inch Ego chainsaw that I purchased. Am I happy with it? Would I recommend this to you? What's my experience been like? I'm going to talk about all that up next. So this is going to be my honest review of this chainsaw after buying it. If you want to see the unboxing video I did, everything that comes with it, and my initial review video, I will leave that linked down in this video description. But it's been a year, it's actually been about 1.5 years since I purchased this Ego chainsaw, and a lot of great advantages to it. If you're considering getting a battery powered chainsaw, I was actually coming from a gas powered chainsaw. I had a pull-in chainsaw from Lowe's that we were using for quite a while. And problems that I would consistently have, the thing would need to be fixed every couple of years because something with the carburetor would jam up. You've got the pull string to pull the thing to start it up, and then you've got the messy problem of having to refill it with gas all the time. Finding a battery powered chainsaw seemed like a great alternative and something that I wanted to explore. Now, I had already purchased other Ego brand products. And advantages to that are the fact that, one, I already had other Ego batteries from the trimmer, the leaf blower, other tools that I was already using. I've got the Ego power station, which allows you to, it's like a battery powered station, allows you to charge up multiple batteries. You can hook it up to solar. So having that convenience of being able to use multiple batteries from the other tools in the chainsaw was very convenient. What was appealing to me when purchasing this chainsaw, and something I'm very happy with, is the ability to quickly switch out batteries. So one battery runs out of juice, you can just pop another one in. There's no pull string to it. You just push the trigger on the chainsaw and then you are going. You're ready to cut whatever you need. I actually got the opportunity to use this chainsaw last summer. After I had purchased this, I apparently purchased it at just the right time, not knowing what was going to happen, but with severe weather coming through our area, it took down one of our giant willow trees in our backyard, and this thing just engulfed our backyard because it was so huge. This is one of the chainsaws that I used. Also had a bunch of friends, family come over and help with just taking apart this willow tree because it was massive. It actually took several weeks or even a couple of months throughout the summer chopping this whole thing up, but as part of that, I was able to use this chainsaw. And real quick, in all the videos on this channel, I hide Tinker. He's this little hidden robot, and he briefly pops up. He's gonna pop up somewhere during this video. If you find him or if you spot him popping up, take note of the timestamp. That is the amount of time into the video where you spot Tinker popping up, and be the first person to let me know the correct timestamp down in the comments section below. And if you are that first person, you might be like Donnie R and Noreen S, recent viewers that have found Tinker in some of my recent videos on this channel. They're getting a shout out in this video, as well as I'm adding their name to our Tinker Forward Hall of Fame page, so keep your eyes out for Tinker. So I want to talk about performance of the chainsaw. From a power standpoint, this thing eats through logs like crazy. So does it have the same power as a larger chainsaw? So this is a 16-inch. If you compared this up to like a 20-inch Husqvarna, no, it's probably not going to stand up. It doesn't have as large of a chain on it. But from a power standpoint, with the sharp chain, this thing does great eating through large pieces of wood. My previous unboxing video, when I initially got it, I show cutting through a whole bunch of large not only just branches, but trunks from different trees and things that I've had around my yard. Where this thing really excels is medium branches. So if you're somebody that's just looking for doing trimming of trees and things like that around your yard, things that are going to be under a foot, to me, this is a no-brainer as far as getting a convenient chainsaw to just lug around that's going to start right up and get things going. Ego makes a pole saw that works with their multi-tool system that also has an extension pole, and I've done videos on that. That works great for higher areas where this chainsaw is just going to be a little bit too big and heavy to get up there, and you don't want to get up on a ladder. You want to check out that pole saw. That'll also be stuff I'll be linking to down in the description below, where I've done videos on that. So I've told you about all the good things, the things I love with this chainsaw. Let me tell you about some of the challenges I've had. As powerful as this thing is, it came with a 4.0 amp hour battery, and that is a great battery to use if you are doing smaller chunks of wood. So tree branches, things that are going to be 6 inches to 8 inches, you're going to get a decent amount of cutting time out of using a battery this size. And I can't give you an exact amount of time because I might cut some wood, I might put the thing down, do some clearing, go back, cut some more. Am I going to get maybe a half hour to an hour's worth of cutting out of it? With sizes of wood like that, I would say definitely so. I mentioned I was using it for cutting up our willow tree, and even though it will eat through those larger pieces of wood, the difference is you're not cutting through branches or trunks that are going to be about this size. You're cutting through trunks that are going to be like this, which is using a ton of power from the chainsaw. So that's doing a bunch of things. One, you're eating up a lot of bar chain oil. Even though this thing uses a battery, you're still putting oil into it. So it eats through a lot of oil pretty quick. But to me, that's not uncommon for chainsaws where you're doing a lot of cutting. It's also eating through the batteries. But the problem is, if you're looking to cut a lot of wood at one time with these batteries, it starts to delay your performance, because I will burn through one of these batteries. It now has no more juice in it. I'll switch to the next one, and then the next one. And after about an hour, hour and a half's worth of time, I've burned through most of my batteries, and I might throw them on the charger, but now I have to wait an hour or so to charge those batteries back up. I haven't really had that problem when I'm just going around trimming different branches on trees. I can definitely work through that. But if you're buying this chainsaw for some heavy use performance, you really want to cut a lot of bigger logs and stuff like that, you're going to need a lot of batteries, and you're going to burn through those batteries fairly quick. And now you're faced with having to wait until those batteries are recharged. You can't do anything in the meantime with the chainsaw. The inconvenience of having to wait for those batteries to charge back up so I could get back out there cutting. I still have my gas-powered chainsaw. I just wanted to grab that thing and continue working instead of waiting for the inconvenience of those batteries charging up. And if the information in this video is helping you out, take a quick second, smash that like button. I greatly appreciate it. It helps out this video as well as this channel. Something else to mention is the batteries get extremely hot when you've been consistently using them to do steady cutting with the chainsaw. Not a huge deal, but if you touch the batteries, they are noticeably very hot. If I go to take that battery immediately from using the chainsaw and stick it back on the charger, I'll actually get an error message or a red light, because it will not charge those batteries if they're in that heated state. The chargers have to wait till the battery cools back down, which sometimes can take 10, 15, 20 minutes, again, increasing the amount of time you have to wait for the battery to even get to the point where it can start recharging. And if you're waiting for that battery to use it for doing more cutting, it is really an inconvenience. One thing that I've noticed with this chainsaw, and this happens with the Eagle pole saw as well, is it seems like the chain comes off more often than not. At some point, it always seems like the chain comes off at least once. The tension on the chain just seems to loosen through gradual cutting. So that's just something you need to be mindful of, is you always need to be adjusting that chain tension. You can just do that real easily with the knob without any tools, but it's something that you have to pay attention to. If the chain does come off, you can just use the other knob that's on the cover to quickly pull the cover off, fix your chain, put it back on, and then reassemble the thing. But I will say, if I'm trying to get whatever work done as far as cutting my wood as quick as possible and the chain comes off, that's going to delay me a couple minutes here, and it is frustrating when I just want to keep going with my cutting. How has the maintenance been over the last year since I've been using this chainsaw? I used it to cut a ton of wood from this willow tree that came down. I have a chainsaw sharpener, which I purchased from Harbor Freight several years ago, which kind of automates the process. I sharpened the chain so many times because it had dulled from cutting so many of the big trunks from that willow tree, I depleted the chain to the point where the teeth on it didn't even look like teeth anymore, so I had to purchase a new chain. I also noticed that with all the excessive cutting, the bar was breaking down on the chainsaw and the chain was actually starting to get jammed and stuck in the bar. So in this last year, I've had to buy myself a new chain, I've had to buy myself a new bar. But again, I've been excessively using this thing, getting out every day, trying to chop up this giant willow tree. So I would say I really put this thing to the test. So would I recommend this chainsaw? If you are in the market for a chainsaw to use around your yard, look at the trees that you are cutting. In my instance of using this thing is a powerhouse cutting through lots of wood in my yard. I use this chainsaw all the time, even a year later here, and the thing still performs great. I will say the convenience of not having to pull start the thing to get it going, put the gas in it. I can just pop a battery in this thing and go as far as cutting is extremely convenient. So if those are factors of a gas chainsaw you don't really appreciate, this is where having the battery powered one is very appealing to somebody like myself. It is quieter than a gas chainsaw. It's very mobile. It's not extremely heavy. I will say after I've been using it for quite a while, over an hour of cutting up the wood, then the battery on this thing starts to, it seems to feel heavier. My arms are starting to get tired. Now you can get around this by using the smaller rated batteries, 2.5, the 4 amp hour that comes with it. If you're using the bigger batteries, you're increasing the weight on the chainsaw. If you're able to do everything really low to the ground, then it's not as big of a deal. I do think the weight of this chainsaw though is comparable to other ones, very manageable for somebody like myself. I haven't had any problems with it starting up, haven't had any problems with it not having enough power. It's definitely going through it's jumping through all the hoops that I need for everything that I'm still continuing to do today with yard maintenance. One factor with the Ego tools, and I've talked about this in my other videos, is the batteries are fairly expensive. I personally have not had any of the batteries that I've been using, and I've had Ego tools now for I'd say at least 5 years. None of my batteries, as of the recording of this video, have failed, or I'm sure they've been losing some sort of capacity charge over time. I honestly haven't noticed it from any of my batteries, but to go and buy more replacement batteries on their own, they get fairly expensive. In my opinion, the way to get more batteries is you get the best deals if you're buying them when they are packaged with more of the Ego tools. From what I've found, Ego seems to have the best deals on their tools around the holidays. So around Memorial Day, around Labor Day, even around the Black Friday sales. Those would be the times I would recommend, if you're interested in picking any of these up, that you watch for deals. They do make other variations of this chainsaw in various sizes. I'm gonna link to everything I talked about in this video, even replacement chains, bar, things like that, all down in the video description. So be sure to check that out. And if you've got other Ego products and you want to check out some of the other reviews I've done, be sure to check those videos out. Those are also going to be linked down in the video description. My name is Jeff. I do tech reviews, tool reviews, all sorts of stuff every week on this channel. If you guys like this stuff, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss any of my weekly videos. I do appreciate you guys watching. Be sure to make every day awesome, get some yard work done, and I will see you guys in the next video.